speaker today is Professor Alexandra Caldas. Professor Caldas has more than 25 years' experience in science and technology policy across academia, industry, government and international organisations. He is a director in the UN system. Specifically, he is Chief of Country Outreach, Technology and Innovation in the Science Division at UN Environment. He is based at UN Environment headquarters in Nairobi, Kenya, from where he speaks to us today. So I will now pass over to Alex.
Thank you, Derek, for the warm welcome. Again, I'd like to thank the High on Earth Initiative for the invitation of UN Environment to share with you this seminar, as well as the information we are going to discuss today on the Indicator Reporting Information System. There's a need for first praise to one particular institution that has collaborated with UN Environment on the development, not only supporting, but actual development of the IRIS system, the Indicator Reporting Information System, and that praise is due to the Environment Agency of Abu Dhabi, and in particular to the Abu Dhabi Global Environment Data Initiative that has been of outstanding interest and motivation in the development of this platform, so the IRIS platform. So this should be taken as a very global collaborative project with this particular investment of EAD as well as GD. So these words are needed at the very beginning, and these are my first information and the first words of praise. Let me start by stressing why is the IRIS and these platforms and these technologies useful. They are only useful as long as they reach the clear outcome of making available high quality, timely and disaggregated data, because this is vital for evidence-based decision-making policy, and as well as to be transparent and to ensure accountability for the implementation of the 2030 agenda and the sustainable development. And we're taking these from the latest report of the Secretary General of UN on the progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals. And so this is the context that really makes any development of IRIS and any technologies useful, as long as they are contributing to this overarching goal of having high quality, timely and disaggregated data available for policy making and for decision making. And so I think this sets the stage for what's following on presenting to you and sharing with you, first with a very brief but synthetic overview, then to provide you some more technical detail on what is IRIS and the platform and what is used for. And then I will attempt, it's always risky to do it, but we are going to do it again. So it's to demonstrate in real life online the use of IRIS and on a number of areas that we think it's appropriate. And probably will not take 40 minutes as expected, so we will leave more time for questions and answers, because it's much more useful to learn from the users and from the colleagues that are online. I should praise the outstanding number of colleagues that showed an interest to participate in this seminar. So let me move very, very quickly to the overview of the indicator reporting system. So IRIS is one of a number of platforms and technologies that we are developing at UN Environment to support policy and support decision making. And those go from they call the Environment Live set of package of technologies. They go from the more Sustainable Development Goals data, communities of practice, to citizen science, as well as analytics, business intelligence, and so on. So this is to integrate IRIS into the corporate UN Environment set of technology we are developing for decision making. Of course, this is strongly based on a core set of indicators. And our database today covers more than 900 indicators coming and share and through more across 25 international organizations. So basically, this provides you some indication of the overarching nature of the set of indicators that we're discussing and that we're talking about, as well as the next slide provides you an idea of the demonstrated interest already of on a system like the indicator reporting information system from countries all over the world. So basically, we're preparing and again here. Hajidi and the Abu Dhabi Environment Agency take a very strong importance as our key partner. So West Asia, it will be covered by our collaborative work with Hajidi and the AD. But as you can see from the map, there's a worldwide interest from the European share environmental systems through to Latin America, and we have just received from the United Nations Statistical Division in writing interest to use IRIS to include and integrate the framework for the development of environmental statistics, which is great news for the worldwide nature of the IRIS and the reporting system. So I'd like to start with this very brief overview that provides you first the clear goal of high quality, timely, undisaggregated data, in the words of the Secretary General of the UN. Secondly, that we're not working as a standalone organization, so that the set of indicators with more than 900 indicators goes across more than 25 international organizations. And thirdly, the worldwide interest demonstrated on that is for us a good demonstration of the need of indicator reporting tools and platforms for countries and institutions. Let me now go to the second part of the presentation, which is a very brief overview of some of the technical nature of our IRIS technology and platform. What is the challenge behind it? And I think we should start. What is the challenge? I'll briefly go over what the major requirements of a technology like these, and then I will focus on the multi-level reporting and the principal features and benefits of the technology. You will have the handout with the technical details, so I will try to select a number of key important message and key important areas that we in the technical presentation. Starting with what is the problem behind it, and what is the challenge and the clear need. Reporting data indicator statistics is very slow and very expensive. And this is to be recognized at all levels, at the country level, at the regional level, as well as at the global level. And so this is the key problem, is that mostly in most organizations and in most countries, the data holdings are mostly thematic, sectoral, and they are aggregated and organized into knowledge silos. So it's very difficult for one institution to share data, to share indicators, and so on. And when it is not so difficult, there are a number of obstacles and impediments and problems of the organization and collection management of the data. And these, which makes data processing a complex task, issue. And finally, on top of the analysis of data and the processing of data, the expert analysis is also usually a complex process, which turns into difficult to make streamlined presentations of data and make data useful for the one who much interests, who is the decision maker, who is the person that takes decisions, and the policy maker that makes ways forward into the use of the data. And so this sets the clear challenge that is behind reporting and information reporting at all three levels: the country, national level, nations in the world, the regional level of regions, as well as the global level. So the challenge is reporting, and the use of data is a complex process. And most of the times we don't take the most value of it because of this complexity. So being this the challenge, we have taken the challenge forward into trying to understand what is required. So we do need a reporting tool. We, as nations or institutions within nations, we do need reporting tools. We need these to enable integrated assessment. So we are not so much interested only on environmental information, but the three pillars together of environmental, economic, and social data. So we need to provide capacity, reporting capacity to organizations, usually with very limited resources. So it's a cost-benefit analysis needed. It needs to be relevant to all scales of governments, from local to regional to global. Most of the silos exist because organizations want to step forward their own strategy. So inter-organizational reporting is difficult. And data sharing policies and open sharing of data is very conservative. So the tool should take care and should answer these needs and these requirements. We need to, today's policymakers are very, live in a deluge of data. So we need to be very tactical in the reporting. So dashboards and business intelligence dashboards are very, very important for a policymaker. They need to be, on the other hand, they need to be easy to customize, because reality in Samoa is different from reality in Latin America and the Caribbean, and is different from reality in Kenya. So it needs to be relevant around the world. It needs to be sustainable, so indicators are evolving, and the system should allow for the timekeeping of the indicators and evolution of the indicators. It needs to be, of course, business have a real good value in the cost benefit. It has been clear that in the lessons learned that capacity building and the training and human capital behind the use of these systems is needed. And definitely it needs to be shared, so in a community of practice around the set of indicators and the number of institutions and countries. So based on these requirements, we have set up and developed over the course of the last 2.5 years IRIS as the indicator reporting information system, again praising EAD and GD for the collaboration and the partnership, the true partnership that we have gone through to devise and to deploy IRIS. So definitely IRIS is an indicator reporting information system that we plan to make this available very soon, probably before December at the United Nations Environment Assembly. We'll be releasing the application publicly, so the web-based application publicly. So the IRIS, and I'll go directly straight to the, other than going through the whole the characteristics of IRIS. I would select, because the diagram and the image is much more clear and easy to understand. What we intend to do with IRIS, as you can see from the diagram, is from more than a technical platform and a technical system, which collects, manage, and publish data. We really intend to support organizations within a country, within a nation, to share the indicators that are managed by IRIS. So even if you have a number of organizations at the subnational level, it really doesn't matter, because they can use IRIS as a platform for sharing the indicators. And then at the regional level, a group of nations, imagine the 33 countries in Latin America and the Caribbean, can use the IRIS platform as well to share information at the regional level. And the same technology and the same platform can be used to share indicators at the global level. Imagine, let's take the clear example of a country as Bosnia, who has already about 20 different organizations within Bosnia, across Bosnia, to share indicators in the IRIS implementation in Bosnia. These institutions are sharing information, and Bosnia is already part of a larger group of countries around Europe, sharing information at the regional level. And this information can be shared across the framework of indicators of multilateral environmental agreements, such as the biodiversity, so on and so forth, as well as the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. So basically, what we intend to clarify as IRIS can be used to cover with the same platform all the three different levels, from the organizational level, from the organizational level to the national level to the regional level, and then to the global level. So, and not changing the technology, but taking value of the use of the same platform. Key benefits, features and benefits of using IRIS. Integrated automation of reporting is a key value of the IRIS platform. It is a fantastic achievement to automate the workflow of reporting, which for most institutions is one main obstacle to produce real-time data for decision making. So reporting is definitely one key value of the IRIS platform. The other key value is the customization of the platform. It's not dependent on a specific group of indicators. So other than producing a static platform, the idea behind IRIS is that the institution or group of institutions or the country can customize the set of indicators and the framework of indicators they can use for using the technology. So the customization is very much a flexible technology and a powerful feature and benefit of IRIS. And finally, through the knowledge base, a set of indicators can be published in a common knowledge base across different sectors or different nations or globally. So basically, the capacity to share the indicators that are being managed by organization is also the third key feature and benefit of the technology. And I think this provides a good summary of what is behind IRIS. I will be very selective. You can see here, and you have the technical details in the handout presentation, but we don't need to go over all these. But this is to show you the detailed technical work that is behind the platform. I will just select a number of characteristics that is behind it, and particularly the data to decision-making process. Okay, to give you a clear example, the framework for the development of environmental statistics has around more than 400 indicators. Okay, that go beyond the environment. So they are around the three pillars of environment, social, and economic indicators. To turn an indicator and the data behind an indicator useful, such as the availability of water in rural areas, for these indicators to be useful for policy making and for decision making, it is important that the whole value chain of managing the indicator is covered in a system. What IRIS provides is such value chain and the workflow of the indicator, from the management of the indicator itself and the data behind it, to the reporting process beyond the indicator, to the actual drivers, pressures, and the results that are behind for policy, important for policy making. Okay, and that's, I think, the most fantastic characteristic of IRIS is to turn a group of indicators into a collection of important information that can be reported. For instance, for a country to report on the national state of environment, or to report on the Convention of Biodiversity, or to report on the annual report of the Sustainable Development Goals. And so the same set of indicators can be used to be reported in all these different arenas, and can be used directly for decision-making and policy and actions, okay? And so I think this is the most powerful characteristic of IRIS. You see that the reporting is very easy, and it uses already templates for the reporting. And the way the data is to be used on a report can be easily customized for the interests and the needs of the organization or of the country. So that's the most powerful thing. And the inclusion of not only the raw data, but as well as the graphs and the maps that are associated with the data, and the inclusion on the report templates, for instance, for the National State of Environment Reporting. Okay, so these are some of the characteristics that I think make IRIS unique in the sense of the value from data to decision making worldwide. Let me focus on what is the problem behind usually the silos and the different areas. Is if we take a specific country, usually the roles and the deliverables needed from one specific institution are segregated usually from a different institution. So with different data sets coming from different organizations, usually it's difficult to share and to interchange that data. Even at the subnational level, reports are fragmented, they are disintegrated one from the others. And so we have an incomplete picture, and we need a system that seamlessly integrates these different reporting from different organizations. Whether they are specific agencies taking care of environment, of economics, or if they are the National Statistics Office, or what we really need for decision making usually is an integrated report that can bring together all these different reports and all these different sets of indicators. So that's where IRIS comes in and provides value added for having integrated national reporting with a number of disaggregated kinds of indicators. So again, that's the most powerful characteristic. I will not go into the more technical details topics. I'll just stress the fact that we're planning together with the GD and the AD to launch IRIS as a hosted service available for countries and regions in December this year, so at the time of the UN Environment Assembly in December. So, and these will provide a soft launch for testing and using more worldwide the IRIS platform and IRIS technology. And this concludes, I think, the second part of the technical analysis of the tool. We are happy to, by email or by any other means, to answer any questions, more technical questions. And as I referred to, as Derek referred to as well, the presentation is available as a handout, and it's available for everyone, which has much more technical detail on the platform. I'll just move very quickly to demonstration of this, because usually it's real when you actually can see what is being discussed. And so we'll be moving to provide you a very walkover of the technology. So the first and most important thing is the system should be as easy to use as possible, with a simple interface, friendly interface, and very interactive. So basically, as you could see, it's a web. It's on the web. It's an online tool with a simplified login to get access to the platform. And you can see with a very simple interface on the dashboard, access to the data and indicators, as well as reporting and the shared knowledge base. with a very simple interface, we have put some effort on the usability of the platform, the ease of use of the platform, in order that everyone can really use it. This is a very fundamental point because worldwide, we don't know which is the capacity behind the technical teams on a country or an organization to really use the platform. So it needs to be as easy, simple, and interactive as possible to be used. And that's therefore that was put behind the system. And that's the first key line message that I want to share with you. Second thing, it should be effective and have an impact on the decision makers and policy makers. And as you know, policy makers do not have time. They have. That's why we created what is the dashboard. So you can access the dashboard from here or from here, and you can see that you can have different kinds of dashboards that will help to access information in a very easy way. So basically, a dashboard provides very easy to access graphs and the information on specific indicators. Then you can go to the specifics of the indicator if you want, but you can access and very easily delete some elements from the dashboard, as well as you can very easily put in the dashboard in order that it can be used by decision makers and can be used by policy makers. So it is important to understand that this kind of easiness and the way we put effort into building a one-click away dashboard it has been put a lot of effort into making this possible in order that a decision maker can easily come and have a number of key indicators in the dashboard and use it. Okay, so that's the second key message. The third key message is about reporting, as I've been explaining during the presentation. So we really want to have easy reporting because most of the reporting usually requires complex access to sets of indicators and all this kind of thing. So reporting with ARIS is usually done through a very easy way using report templates available for the users. And so I'll not go into details of creating the reports, but definitely the availability of the templates. And the templates can be on national states of environment reporting, sustainable development goals, SDGs reporting, or they can be on the multilateral environmental agreements reporting. So one can use the templates to create easy to access reports and then share these reports. So basically it's, of course, we're using most of these PDFs, Word documents, and so on and so forth, in order that we can easily use graphs, maps, and data sets to make those available in the various kinds of reports that are needed. So I think the third key message is the easiness of reporting of ARIS and the availability of templates for the reporting. The fourth message is about the sharing of information. When one is producing reports, usually wants to access information and to share this information in different kinds of at a local level, at a regional level, and at a global level. So usually the access, so one can export the reports and export the reports to be used in the shared knowledge base and share this information with another institution, share this information with all the institutions in a country, or share the information in different countries in a whole region, or share the information globally, displaying the information to the Sustainable Development Goals Global Report, for instance. Okay, so the shared knowledge base provides the availability to share the reports in different levels local, global, local, regional, and global levels, and that can be done through the chair knowledge base. Okay, I think this is the key message that I want to, for the login to the shared knowledge base, we can be at a certain regions such as Latin America and the Caribbean and access the chair indicators that have been made available by the different countries, the 33 countries in Latin America, and then select specific indicators and look at the indicators that have been shared by a number of countries. We can go to the indicator definitions if there's a technicality where the indicator is coming from. We can go to the actual data behind the indicator. You can see that indicators can be data sets, but can be spatial data sets. And then you can really go to the actual graphs and maps of the indicator. So these kinds of share indicators, as I'm continuously stressing and underlining this point, can be indicators of one specific organization, of a group of organizations, of a country, of a group of countries, or at the global level of a multilateral environmental agreement or any kind of sustainable development. So, and I think this provides you an idea of the 4 key points. The final point that I want to make is that the customization capacity of the platform. So, other than bringing here a set of fixed static indicators, the way the platform was built is to have the user, the organization or the country, can create his own indicators. Can create different types of indicators, such as from raw data indicators to index, can select specific indicators, such as, let's imagine, more environmental related, more social related, or socioeconomic related. And then from these sets of indicators, it really can set the subtopic indicators. So there are a number of customization capabilities of the system that turn IRIS into a very flexible platform. It's not a fit for all purpose, but in fact provides different institutions with different needs, different countries with different needs, and different regions with the capacity to tailor the framework of indicators that can be used to share information globally. Okay, so this was what I wanted to. Of course, as you can see, there are more technical things such as the data sources. So there's no constraint on the kind of data source that you can link to. So a particular country that uses a particular kind of technical system, it's easy to create a new kind of data source in the system. So there's no particular attachment to a particular kind of technology here. So the flexibility of customization is at a more technical level, as well as at the level of the indicators and the kind of indicators and the type of indicators that are being shared. And I think this concludes what I wanted to share with you. The five key topics of being an easy to use platform, being an effective platform with dashboards that are easy to use by policymakers and decision makers, the automated nature of the reporting and how to use templates for reporting, the capacity to share these at the local level, inter-organizational level, at the national level, the regional or the global, and finally the flexibility and the adaptability of the tool to be used for different scenarios worldwide. So these were the premise behind the production of IRIS, and together with GED and the EAD, UN Environment is proud to use these as a challenge and invite different organizations worldwide, different countries, to start using IRIS as an effective decision-making and policy-making tool. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alex, for a very thorough, excellent presentation. Now, before we move on, I'm just going to invite Carolyn Salvadelli from the World Resources Institute to give us a short vote of thanks to our speaker.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Derek. And on behalf of the Eye on Earth Alliance, I want to thank you, Professor Caldas, and your colleagues at UN Environment for this fantastic presentation. I think it takes a brave group to do a live demonstration on a webinar, and I applaud your ability to pull it off so seamlessly. I think, sort of going back a little bit, your identification of the problem was spot on, particularly how siloed our data holdings and tools have become. That's definitely a problem we at World Resources Institute are working to address with the project that I'm working on called Resource Watch, and it's certainly a priority across the Eye on Earth Alliance more broadly. And I think as we work towards the Eye on Earth goal to advance sustainable development by enabling all stakeholders with the data and information they need, tools like IRIS will be crucial to turning information into action. I think the collaborative nature of the project, the timeliness of the data, and definitely the customizability of the interface really ensures its long-term success. And it's clear, this is already clear from the interest from countries that they're already showing in using the tool. And I'm sure they'll appreciate how sort of user-friendly you've developed the interface and how customizable the tool is. So I'm eager to see it in action and would love to see how we can work closely across the Alliance to ensure that these data tools are interoperable and connected. So yeah, thanks again on behalf of Eye on Earth, and I look forward to seeing the impact this tool has on sustainable development decision making.
Thank you, Caroline. So now we turn to questions and answers. We have many questions here in the queue. Hanan El Amin. Hanan, you have a question. I'm not hearing Hanan. So Hanan is asking, does the IRIS system, can it be used as an SDG monitoring tool? Is there any training that could be provided for countries? Is the system available for the different practitioners in the field rather than government institutions, i.e. is it available for NGOs, researchers, etc.?
Okay, so direct answers for the use of the system as an SDG monitoring tool is yes. It's definitely fit for this specific purpose, and we in fact doing it and we have just agreed with the United Nations Statistics Division to use the framework for the development of environmental statistics to be integrated in IRIS and to use it for monitoring SDGs. Secondly, yes, it's a lesson learned. The testing and demonstration of IRIS that has been conducted to the current time shows that training and capacity building is a fundamental parallel activity that should go hand in hand with the installation and the deployment of IRIS in any country or organization. Thirdly, we still on a final to testing phase of IRIS and understanding which will be the model for delivering IRIS on a wider basis. And one possibility is definitely to make the tool available widely as an open platform, but definitely the tool is available not only for governmental organizations but also for NGOs and other stakeholders in the field. So that will be our intention, to make the tool available as widely as possible.
Thank you, Alex. The questions are pouring in at the moment as I'm struggling to keep up with them. There is a question from Young Choi. Young, I've opened your mic if you wanted to put your question. Young.
Yes, hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
I'm Choi from Seoul. I'm a government officer, and my question is, how can I join the IRIS system when you open it this December? I'd like to input the data in my city and also I'd like to use the data and information in IRIS. So how can I join the IRIS system?
Yeah. So the way we are planning is to upon a request from a particular institution, to analyze how these wants to be used by the institution, in order that we can make available the platform and to customize a specific instance for either the institution or the group of institutions. We're still working, and we'll be working with together with the GID and EAD on the model to deliver and roll out on a global scale. But I suggest that if you have an interest on IRIS, you just contact us, and there's a contact information in the handout that was shared, and we follow from there on understanding how we can make the platform available to your institution.
I got it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the question and the answer. We have another question from Guy Hutton. Guy, I've opened your mic if you want to put your question. Could you just introduce yourself and where you're calling from, please?
Hello, yes, this is Guy Hutton, working with UNICEF. I'm working mainly in the water supply and sanitation sector. I'm based in Geneva right now. So yes, I mean, this is a really interesting tool and platform. And we've already had a question about the, the relevance for SDG monitoring. How does it sort of interplay and complement rather than duplicate other SDG monitoring platforms? You used the example of rural water in your presentation. In fact, there is a global platform for monitoring water supply and sanitation. So, and that has its own methodology of data collection and analysis and reporting. So how will you avoid presenting different findings, for example, for a country, so that we have one set of data and coverage rather than multiple circulating? Thank you.
We will try as much as possible to share data, particularly at a global level, based on the role of custodianship of the data. So basically, the custodians of the data, as you were mentioning, the SDG targets 6162, for instance. So the role of being the custodians of the data should have prevalence in terms of the actual use. So we will tend to use, not tend, but we will force most of the case the use of the custodian data from the custodian institutions and agencies, in order that if we are sharing data on a global level or a regional level that is managed by a different custodian agency, the data should come from that custodian agency. And the same applies for any of the 24 or 26 indicators for which the UN Environment is the custodian agency. So, and the same applies for all the other kinds of data and indicators in different custodian agencies. So we will follow strictly the custodianship and responsibility for being custodians of the data sets, and the sharing at a global scale will be following that rule and that model, in order to avoid any problems of sharing data that is not the actual official data that is being reported to the custodian agency of the data. But the important thing is we have taken special care on data security. In this regard, one of my colleagues is prompting me to express that in order to have consolidated data sets, we will be probably, not probably, but we have just agreed with UN Statistical Division to use the framework for development of environmental statistics and the core data sets of indicators there, in order as much as possible to follow standards and to follow the sharing of standard data, in order that, again, we can contribute to be sharing data that is consolidated and is official. And but I wanted to point out that in terms of, we have put some effort into terms of data security, and we recognize the importance that for one organization to keep the confidentiality, particularly of the raw data sets and the raw information that is behind the data set or an indicator. So the number of security requirements and technical specifications on a layered approach to the security, the different types of users and authorization for managing the system, all this is built into the system. I didn't have time to go over the security features, but it has been put some effort in terms of granting and assuring the data security model and architecture behind the system. So from one hand, we will try to standardize and use standards and custodian data, particularly in the chair knowledge base of indicators. On the other hand, we will provide as much as assurance of security as possible in order that the one institution can be putting the correct data and sharing the correct data based on a number of security features. I hope this answers at least partially your question.
Thank you again, Alex. I have to apologise to all the people who are sending questions in. We're certainly not going to get a chance to answer all the questions today. There is an interesting couple of questions from a person who has a lot of history in this project, which is Dr. Adel Abdulkader. Dr. Adel, if you wanted to put your question for purposes of speed, you might just put one of the questions that you've raised. I've opened your mic if you wanted to put your question. Dr. Adel.
Thank you, Derek, and thank you, Professor Alex. I'm really glad to see the progress that has been made with IRIS. My first question is about the data and the indicator. Are we providing data to the system? Then we use some kind of formula to generate the indicator, or the indicator are being calculated before it's being fed into the system? My second question is, the system are going to be deployed to the country as a standalone system? Because most country would want to have a system they use for their own needs and requirement, and then they can really get and feed some data to a global platform like this. Thank you.
Okay, the first question, thank you for the detailed questions. The answer is we can use both kind of indicators, in fact. So we can use standalone autonomous indicators with data coming direct for that specific indicator, or we can calculate, specify the specific formula for the calculation of the indicator, and the indicator is automatically calculated in the system. And for instance, to produce index of indicators, or even aggregation of indicators is also possible. With regard to the second question, yes, you're putting at a very important point. So we're starting to have demands of different deployment scenarios. So countries such as Bosnia, for whom we have implemented a specific instance of IRIS to Bosnia. So the country and the different organizations in the country are using their own platform of IRIS. And we have another example of the share of environmental information systems in Europe, where a group of countries is sharing the information using as a basis IRIS to share information across 30, if I'm not mistaken, 34 to 36 countries across Europe. So we will have the need for specific deployments in a country. So and we'll have also internet solutions or intranet solutions for that will even assure that the system is used by a number of countries. So I have to correct the number for the number of the current demonstration in Europe. It reaches 54 countries in Europe. So in an online internet platform where they share the system. But as I gave it as an example at the beginning, so we also have deployments on specific countries, which proves that the tool is flexible and adaptable, customizable for different scenarios of implementation.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. We have a question. We have many questions. I think we may need to have a follow-up call, I think. There's a question about multilingual. Andre, if you wish, I've opened your mic if you wanted to put your question about multi-language capabilities. Andre?
Yes, good afternoon. Yes, can you hear me? So I'm part of the SEIS program for Africa. I'm from Burkina Faso, and I'm assisting some French-speaking countries. So my question is, do you have plans to translate the content of the IRIS into French? And while I may be available to help in this if you have this in your agenda.
The main interface is translatable already using, of course, an automated tool, Google Translator, for the different languages. So, which I think provides a very effective way for the use of the system in different languages, of course, including easily the French. So the answer is yes, the system is immediately available in different languages, at least the common interface, the menu is on the common interface. But we open very much to the idea that, particularly in the main languages, that we could have specific implementations of IRIS with a professional or close to professional translation. But as is, the system is automatically being translated, the main interface in different languages using the feature of Google Translate.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you for the question from West Africa. We have questions concerning data and data quality.
Thank you very much, Arthur Dahl, International Forum in Geneva, Switzerland. What metadata will be available to judge the reliability and significance of the data, sample size and so on? Will only government-approved data be included, or will there be scientific data sets from the global level that may not be passed through governments?
Yes, so the way the system is available is that it will be customized and the set of data set and the indicators that will be collect, managed, and available in the system will be relying on the institution and the institutions providing the actual data. What we will provide is as much as possible as a number of standards and follow-up on a number of standards, such as we are sharing information on SDMX. We'll be using the framework for development of environmental statistics framework for the sharing of data, in order that as much as possible institutions can use the common accepted standards to assure that as all these so the final assurance and the quality of the data that is in an instance of IRIS will very much depend on the producer and the user of IRIS that is responsible for the management of the system. To give you an example, we are going definitely to use IRIS to share our custodian data sets and indicators. And we have produced internal frameworks, a methodology for the definition of each and every indicator on the 26 environmental indicators we are custodians for. Of course, this provides the reliability and the quality assurance of the data sets that we will make available using the IRIS, because beyond and on the background of using it, we also have the reliability and quality assurance of the methodologies that we have used, and the system can I don't know if you have the time to if I have the time to explain, but when we use the indicators, we have the definition of the indicators, and that definition can be as detailed and explanatory as possible. So the system is ready to include there the definition and the methodology behind the indicators and so on and so forth. So, and the metadata that is behind it. So the system accommodates to put that information there, but whether or not the manager of the IRIS platform is collecting and updating that information in the system, of course, it depends on the actual organization that is behind the actual management of the IRIS platform. We will, on the other hand, we will, as much as possible, I would like to stress this point, suggest and provide standards and frameworks that are globally accepted as the standards for quality assurance of the data and indicators.
Thank you, Alex. This is always a very intense experience for the speaker. I always feel it's like having a PhD defence. We're now at the top of the hour. We need to finish, but there is one last question, person with a question. Dr. Mohammed Salim, who's been very patiently waiting. I think he's one of the first people to put a question. Dr. Salim, I've opened your mic if you wanted to put your question. And sadly, I'm afraid this does have to be the last question, and there are probably another 20 questions in the queue. Dr. Salim, please.
Hello, Derek.
Yes.
Thank you for your organization, and I would like to thank Alexander as well. So I am from Egypt. I am a professor in Egypt. So my question to Alexander, if there is any new approaches for ERS to be suitable for Arabic countries, it means that we don't have an Arabic regime for this program. Second, we are willing to collaborate with you and with Alexander as well. We developed a new approach for soil fumigation called smart biofumigation. This for any urban areas, for any agricultural land, and we are willing to make this partnership between ERS and our program to be suitable for all over the people all over the world, in Africa, in Asia, and in Europe. And we are willing for a near future collaboration with Derek and Alexander. This is my question.
Okay, I will start with the last one, which is so we'll be very open for the collaboration as long as you can contact us, and then we will set up a meeting where we can together with the GD and the AD move on and follow up on a potential collaboration, the use of the platform for the intention that you have expressed. With regard to the Arabic setup and deployment, we definitely we have worked with a number of institutions, so we really would like to much as customize as possible for different regions. In the West Asia region, definitely GD and the AD will have a major role, and we want that to not only to continue so, but very enthusiastic to do so. And but definitely, particularly in Arabic countries, we'll be very much interested in the actual deployment. And so as we are close to final and to the rollout in a global scale, so I will enthusiastically invite you to contact us and in order for us to set up the ways for collaboration. We have had a collaboration with Sedare and the number of other institutions in order that we could already share and partner for the deployment of actual real case scenarios for the platform. So we're happy to continue to do so, and in fact in a more wider scope. Particularly now that we are ready to do it on a more global scale.
Thank you, Alex. So we're now past the top of the hour, I'm afraid, so I do need to bring it to an end. There are a number of people have asked for contact details. My contact and the Iron Earth general contact information is on the screen at the moment, along with the URL that I shared with you at the beginning for all the previous Iron Earth webinars, but please take a note if you note this down that that is case sensitive. This is a temporary arrangement, and very soon the former webinars will be on our website. And Professor Kaldaz's email was here at the bottom. I hope you noticed it whilst he was answering the questions. If you wish to contact directly, his contact details are there. So with that, I thank Alex and his colleagues for this fantastic presentation, and thank you very, very much to the fantastic number of people who have participated in this call. And with that, I will bring this webinar to an end. Thank you. Goodbye. Speak next time.